I sold our house to her lover before she landed. Doorbell rings while I'm taping up a welcome home banner that says we missed you, which is funny because I didn't. I open the door. Roses. Suitcase. A grin that screams protein powder. Hey, bro, he says, like we share a locker. Garage code still work? For later? His suitcase has a leather tag with monogrammed initials that match her work trip itinerary. My petty meter pegs the red. The house is our only big asset. I'm not crying about this. I'm going to be clever. I smile, hand him a key fob I keep for guests, and decide I'm selling him something he already thinks he owns. Cracks in the paint. 5 years married. One fixer-upper. She picked the farmhouse sink. I wrestled it into the countertop at 2 a.m. with YouTube and a prayer. I did the fixing floors, cabinets, the fence. The wind keeps auditioning for flight school. She did the networking, charity dinners, late meetings, and a rolling suitcase that lived by the door like a pet. The cracks didn't start loud, a trip that left on a flight number that didn't exist, but somehow the perfume existed, clinging to the passenger seat like a stubborn ghost. Must be from the boutique, she said, breezy. Yeah, the boutique named Derek's Cologne. Then Mrs. Garcia, our neighborhood's unofficial security camera with a cardigan, spotted the gym friend leaving at sunrise. Always stretches before he sits, she told me over the fence. Suspicious hips. I nodded like that was data we could submit to the court. Her parents adore her. My mother-in-law thinks I'm too sensitive and bad at brunch, which is wild because I make a hollandaise that could get a standing ovation. My father-in-law calls me sport, which is not my name, while offering advice about keeping your lady. I've kept plants alive longer. So I started logging red flags like grocery receipts. The missing charger that reappeared in a stranger's car. The plane photos that came with palm trees 2 hours before her plane supposedly landed. The way she said, "You're overthinking," like it was my hobby. I wasn't bitter. I was done. Don is quiet and organized. Don labels the bins. And then the doorbell. Roses. Suitcase. Monogram tag that matched the initials on the itinerary she left in the printer, because fate has a sense of humor and she never checks the print tray. He called me bro, asked for the garage code for later. Later? Bold choice, Derek. He didn't introduce himself, so I decided his name on sight. He had Derek energy. Forgive me if he's actually taught. He rolled the suitcase over the threshold like he'd been here. He looked around like a contractor doing an estimate of my life. She told me about the house, he said. Said it's her dream. Her dream? Cute. My dream has knee scars and a wireless drill. He set the roses on the counter I sanded with 4 fingers full of splinters and gave me a grin that tried to hug me. You must be cool, man. You get it. I do get it. I get that you showed up to my house with flowers and a suitcase while my wife is flying home. I get that you think you already live here in your head. And I get that the only way I walk out of this with my spine straight is if I turn this stage lights on and let the scene play. So I smiled, gave him the guest fob we keep for dog sitters, and said, if you're here for later, you should probably see what you're getting into. He blinked. Like a tour. Exactly like a tour, I said. You know, so you can appreciate her dream properly. He laughed because men like Derek love an inside joke they don't understand. While he trailed me into the kitchen, I clocked all the quiet work I'd done. The cabinet door that only lines up when you close it with a little hip bump. The corner where the paint is half a shade off because the store ran out of eggshell. The tile I laid with a bend in it that we called character. Our life was in the flaws. And here I was about to use those flaws as bullet points. But first, inventory the stakes. The house is our only big asset. There's some equity. There's my pride. There's the dog who idolizes whoever holds the peanut butter. There's also the part of me that kept shrinking to keep the peace. He's filing a complaint. I'm not going to torch the place or throw plates. I'm going to be clever. Petty without being mean. Okay, a little mean. Petty with jazz hands. I can laugh while I draw a boundary. I'll remember it's mine. Mrs. Garcia peered through the front window like we were a matinee. She mouthed, "You okay?" I gave a tiny thumbs up, which is neighbor code for "I'm fine, but keep watching." She nodded, disappeared, and immediately reappeared with a notepad, because she's the stenographer none of us deserve. Derek? Fine. Maybe he's a Lucas, but I'm committed. Wandered into the living room and did the arms-wide gesture people do when they imagine a couch they won't assemble. "Oh yeah," he said. "We talked about placing the sectional there." "Did you?" I said, neutral as tap water. "Well, good news. The structural integrity of that wall can support all kinds of bad decisions." He didn't catch it. He never would. That's the thing about people who march into the middle of your life. They only hear the beat they're dancing to. The inciting incident wasn't him showing up. It was me deciding the house wouldn't be the casualty. It would be the stage. I didn't have to scream. I could set props, hand out programs, and let the audience draw conclusions. If he wanted in, I'd sell him the idea of ownership he'd already bought. So I took a breath, straightened the "We missed you" banner sagging over the doorway like a tired eyelid, and said in my best open house voice, "Welcome to the last day. This is free." Act 1, the petty plan lights up. Here's the goal, plain as the smudge on the stair rail. Hit her wallet and her ego without raising my voice, and definitely without crying. That's not my brand. My brand is labels on bins and revenge with receipts. If he thinks he's walking into a ready-made life, I'm going to charge admission. "Quick question," I say casual. "How serious are you about her dream?" He perks up like a golden retriever hearing car keys. "Dead serious, man." "Perfect," I say, because dreams aren't cheap. "In love?" "Love has holding costs." He does a confused smile. It's adorable. I open the junk drawer, our shrine to expired batteries, and pull out a stack of printer paper. I'm going to need a minute to drop an agreement. "An agreement?" "Standard stuff," I say. "A gentleman's pre-occupancy understanding. You know, since you're already preoccupied." He nods, like he's very business. I sit at the table and write a title across the top in heroic font. "Agreement to purchase domestic serenity." I underline it twice. I add a seal, which is a doodle of our dog wearing a judge's wig. I'm not proud. I'm thrilled. Clause 1. Buyer acknowledges he is acquiring the right to contribute to mortgage-adjacent vibes and will not disturb existing harmony except by consent and scheduled vacuuming. Clause 2. Buyer agrees to assume all responsibilities for her dream, including but not limited to sourcing seasonal throw pillows, pretending to like the rustic ladder no one uses, and maintaining a basil plant despite a known black thumb. Clause 3. A non-refundable love deposit will be held in trust by the Neighborhood Association Arts and Snacks Fund. 4. Culture. Translation for my nervous system, proof that I'm not the only one investing anymore. Clause 4. Exclusive license to her garden, minus the tomatoes, which belong to me and the squirrel who intimidates me. Clause 5. In the event of buyer remorse, see cancellation terms, public apology, full confession to the street group chat, purchase of all remaining cookies from Mrs. Garcia's never-ending bake sale. I'm cackling internally. Out loud, my voice is NPR calm. "Just some legalese," I say. He leans over the counter. "How much is the deposit?" "Depends," I say, tapping the pen like a tiny metronome. "How much is she worth to prove you're not just playing house?" "Round numbers keep the math clean." He squints at the banner. "Like 10? That's tidy," I say. "And you strike me as tidy." His face does that thing where confidence and fear register at the same time. "Venmo okay?" "Venmo okay?" "Venmo is sentimental," I say. "It leaves hearts." Before I send him my handle, I call Cousin Priya on speaker. She's paralegal, adjacent, with a minor and yelling at me. She answers mid-side. "What have you done?" "Nothing yet," I say. Hypothetically, if one were to create a ceremonial document to commemorate a romantic investment, no, she says. "Absolutely not." "Great," I say. So I'm hearing a soft yes with firm eyebrows. "Don't put my name on anything. and this is not legally binding. Obviously, I say, scribbling her name under witness because comedy demands sacrifice. This is emotionally binding. Different code. She groans. I'm texting you a voice note that says stop. Play it for yourself until you get tired. Love you, I say, and hang up before she can save me. I turn the paper toward him like a game show board. We can tailor the terms. For example, I can throw in a one-time courtesy tutorial on the dishwasher that only starts if you whisper encouragement. He looks at the clauses, then at the house, then at me. I mean, if this makes her happy. My brain whispers the old reflex. Keep it easy, make it smooth. And I turn the volume down. Not today. That's the spirit, I say, and I mean it with the exact level of sincerity required to sell a timeshare. He bites his lip. I'll need to see everything. Here it is, I say. Follow me, investor. We move room to room while I narrate like I'm guiding a safari. Here's the living room, featuring floating asymmetric shelving. Some call it bent, but we embrace unconventional geometry. These floors, artisan, distressed by 2 years of pandemic pacing. The thermostat requires a firm tap and an apology. He nods like he's buying stock. And the neighborhood? Supportive, I say, as Mrs. Garcia's silhouette flits past the window. Built-in accountability. In the bathroom, I point to the faucet that spins left for both hot and cold. European, I lie. In the bedroom, I gesture at the closet I rebuilt after it tried to collapse on my suits. Open concept, sometimes literally. Back in the kitchen, I line up 2 mugs like we're doing business. So, the deposit, non-refundable. Apples to apples, Tin buys a lot of pillows. If he flinches here, I learn who he is. If he doesn't, I learn faster. He swallows. Okay, for her. The Venmo ding hits like a piccolo in a marching band. I feel it in my spinal cord. I keep my face steady. I'll note receipt. He exhales. So, I'm in. You're in the audition room, I say. Final callbacks when we sign. He grins, radiant. What else do you need? One last signature acknowledging the cancellation terms, I say casually, circling the part where he agrees to public contrition on cookie purchases. Just a formality. He hesitates, then shrugs. And if it's for her, I slide him the pen. It's one of those free clinic pens that always writes, even on nonsense. He scrawls his name with the wrong flourish. Interesting. I tuck that away like a spare key. Then I text her lover, my newest client, for words. If you love her, prove it. He stares at his phone, then at me. Done. I smile because the clock is ticking and my next moves need props. I pull a stash of sticky notes and start labeling the house like a boutique. Under offer on the toaster. Under offer on the throw blanket. Under offer on the dog bed, which earns me a judgmental blink. He laughs, delighted. Of course he does. He thinks he's winning. I think I am too. And now all I need is witnesses. Try fail 1, courting the buyer. Tension check. I need his signature in a fat deposit before her flight lands. I've got the ding. I need the scribble. And I need to keep him inside the fantasy long enough to ink it. He wants a tour of the full rom-com montage. Perfect. I start in the foyer, sweep my hand like a cruise director. Note the soft, natural light that makes everyone look like they've slept. He chuckles. She said the light here is magical. It is, I say. It also exposes dust, like an IRS audit, so we worship at the altar of the Swiffer. Up the stairs. I make a stop at the gallery of crooked frames. This is our abstract phase. Some say the studs are uneven. I say the house has opinions. He laughs too hard, like he's auditioning for me. That helps. I nudge the attic door open and it groans like a ship. Historical soundscape, I say. We climb halfway. A moth does a jump scare, and he hops back into me, chest to back. Whoa, it's okay, I soothe. Moth's on payroll. The security. I hold the door like a gentleman and, oh no, there's the little porcelain clown face someone thought was whimsical. He spots it and shivers. What's that? Legacy fixture, I say. Optional. We can negotiate an amnesty clause. Back downstairs, Mrs. Garcia materializes by the back window like a screensaver. She taps the glass, then pantomimes a realtor's slow nod. I crack the door. Everything good, Mrs. G? She slides in a plate of cookies like a bride. Watt Bakery. Presenting comps. 2 streets over. 3. 2 with a carport. Closed at 5:30. Yours? With emotional square footage? Priceless. She side-eyes him so gently you almost miss the dagger. Appreciate the data, I say. He beams at her. Hi, I'm visiting, she says. Then to me, you okay? Under supervision, I say. She approves. She always approves of supervision. Back to the living room. I gesture at my warped shells. Custom floating, asymmetric. One of a kind. He taps them with a knuckle. Are they supposed to wiggle? They're dancing, I say. We respect expressive furniture. He tries to negotiate. Look, man, I'm in, but 10's a lot for a symbolic thing. Maybe we shave a little, or you toss in something big. Like, I don't know, exclusive rights to her garden? My smile does not move. Exclusive rights to her garden, I repeat, writing it down. Includes basil. Excludes tomatoes and the squirrel who answers to no one. Deal, he says, pleased with himself. And the garage gym? Access contingent on wiping down benches and not flexing near the water heater. She's sensitive. He nods solemnly, like I'm inducting him into a lodge. We stroll into the laundry room. State-of-the-art washer if you're fine with hand cranking the spin cycle during even-numbered cycles. It keeps us humble. He frowns. Kidding, I add, mostly. We lean on the island. Time to firm up. Next up is acknowledgement of the cancellation terms and an initial here. I tap the line so I can prepare the welcome package. What's the welcome package? 2 months of HOA fees prepaid, a map of trash days, and stewardship of my curse. Sourdough starter. He answers to breadward. He bites. He blinks. Breadward. Do not feed after midnight, I say flatly. He can't tell if I'm joking. Good. We exist in the uncanny valley where contracts live. Phone buzz. Group chat. Street Watchers Anonymous. Someone posts a blurry picture of my cereal box. Sold sign prototype drying on the porch. Caption, is he okay? Mrs. Garcia replies with a thumbs up and a gif of a gavel. I show him none of it. He doesn't need to know we already have an audience. He circles the kitchen like a shark at an open house. So this is really happening. As much as love can happen between paperwork, I say. Now, about that signature. He picks up the pen, sets it down, picks it up again. I just don't want to step on toes. Great instinct, I say, sliding a coaster under the pen for no reason. Put that care into your cursive. He breathes, then scribbles. There's his full last name. A flourish where a vowel should be. Noted. He adds a heart dotting the I. Of course he does. Venmo dings. Again, he's sending more. Memo. For love and pillows. I am a statue. Received, I say, like a bank. He wants more assurances. Will her parents be cool? Psychology note. Men who ask for referees before a play often plant a foul. They think whoever buys gluten-free confetti is a saint, I say. If you bring pastries, her mom will knight you with a brunch fork. He laughs, nervous. I toss him a cookie. Fuel. Wait, Mrs. Garcia texts me a selfie with 2 thumbs up and a caption. He's soft. Press. I press. One more stop. The patio. We step outside. The wind flips the "We missed you" banner into a surrender flag. I point to the string lights. Romance on a dimmer. Also, don't touch that top bulb. It's wired to our neighbor's Halloween witch and she cackles at random. Some symbolism writes itself. My house cackles when clowns touch the wiring. He's charmed. Of course he is. He imagines evenings out here, her head on his shoulder, their shared dream. I imagine receipts. Final piece, I say, holding the contract like a pizza box. Initial by the line that says you agree to the cookie clause. He grins and signs, confidence restored by carbs. There. All in. Turn, Venmo dings, signature smears. He used the side of his hand, wet ink. My contract now reads like poetry in thread. Legal chaos potential skyrockets. I smile, gentle as a lullaby. Beautiful. Now, let's get those sticky notes ready. The clock is ticking, and I need this place looking very under offer. Micro drama, in-laws meddle early. My phone lights up with mother-in-law, confetti emoji, siren emoji. I answer like customer service. Hi, Brenda. Can you pick up gluten-free confetti for tonight? She chirps. Sensitive tummies. I'm busy selling your daughter's dream, I say, stirring my coffee like a villain. Pause. Selling what? The dream house, I say calmly. Big day for love. She lowers to her whisper, knife voice. Is this one of your bits? Only the legally non-binding parts, I say. We're celebrating commitment. Click. Father-in-law jumps in on three-way. Sport, he says, which remains not my name. Men make mistakes. Forgive quickly. It's attractive. Does forgiveness take cash or credit? I ask. Asking for a lover. He coughs. Brenda exhales through a flute. We don't appreciate sarcasm. Accept appreciation in cookies, I say. Also, please know there's a very tasteful deposit involved. A text pings. It's Loverboy on my couch, throwing a peace sign with our dog who has no loyalty, only peanut butter ethics. Caption, first day in the dream. I stare at it, then hit forward and select family thread by muscle memory. Oops. Air quotes around oops. 3 dots bubble like a pot about to boil. Brenda, who is that on my daughter's sofa? Father-in-law, is that a man in our home? Me, prospective steward of family memories. Thoth, Brenda calls back immediately. We're coming over, she announces. And don't you dare be dramatic. Great, I say sweetly. I'll stage cookies. I also stage my face. Calm as a pond. Angry men get dismissed. Calm men get contracts signed. I hang up and face my audience of 2, Loverboy and Mrs. Garcia's silhouette, now holding binoculars for no reason except flourish. We're about to have a walkthrough with executive stakeholders, I tell him. Time to present strong. Her parents, he says, bright and terrified. Think of them as lenders, I say. They value stability, gluten-free items, and people who say no worries even when worrying. I go full open house mode. Sticky notes bloom on every surface. Under offer on the mixer. Under offer on the framed photo of us at a pumpkin patch I hated. I adjust pillows with the precision of a surgeon. I light the fancy candle she reserves for guests we actually like. I put out Mrs. Garcia's bride plate and angle it like a spread in a magazine called Regret. Mrs. Garcia taps the glass. Do you want municipal gossip or calming crystals? Gossip, I say. Always gossip. She slides in like a stagehand. City inspector says the cul-de-sac trash day might move to Thursday. She drops it like a twist. Also, your in-laws are 2 blocks out. I saw the car and the disapproval. Perfect, I say. Can you stay and present comps? She brightens. I brought laminated charts. A neighbor with spreadsheets is worth 3 therapists and a doorbell camera. The door opens before I can pretend I didn't hear the knocking. Brenda sweeps in with father-in-law puffed behind her like a parade balloon. She clocks the sticky notes, the candle, the lover, the banner. Her face does a 3-act play in 2 seconds. What, she says, is happening? I smile like a receptionist. Welcome to our open house. Please note the under offer tags. We are in escrow with feelings. Father-in-law points at lover boy. Who are you? Prospective steward of family memories, I say smoothly. Strong financial provider invested in seasonal decor. Lover boy tries a handshake. Brenda doesn't take it. She scans the walls hawk-eyed. This paint, she says, pinching an invisible flaw. Patchy. Vintage patina of commitment, I say. We're leaning into story-rich surfaces. If I can name the mess without rage, I can leave it without guilt. Mrs. Garcia steps forward with cookies and municipal gravitas. Comparable homes without emotional amenities close lower, she reports, handing Brenda a chart. This property includes a community witness protection program for truths. Father-in-law studies the deposit memo on my phone when I accidentally let the screen face him. His eyebrows do math. He grumbles, then nods at Loverboy. At least he can provide. Incidental endorsement secured. Loverboy glows. Brenda's mouth things into a hyphen. She lowers her voice. Your wife lands soon. We'll sort this. Do nothing. I glance at the flight tracker on my phone. On approach flashes like a siren. The clock screams without sound. I keep smiling. Of course. We're just finalizing a tiny formality. Brenda narrows her eyes at the contract on the counter. What is that? In-law psychology, challenge the artifact so you don't have to acknowledge the behavior. Agreement to purchase domestic serenity, I say. Ridiculous clauses, golden hearts. She blinks at the Judge Wig dog seal. Mother-in-law clears his throat, oddly impressed. Mrs. Garcia hums an anthem only I can hear. The house is dressed. The audience is seated. The curtain's about to rise. Open house from hell. Tension check. Keep the charade believable. Don't get punched. Get one more signature before wheels touch tarmac. I channel every realtor I've ever side-eyed. Welcome, I announce, handing Brenda a cookie brochure I made by flipping Mrs. Garcia's comps. Please enjoy refreshments while we discuss stewardship. If I frame this as care, even the critics have to pick their words with oven mitts. Brenda ignores the cookie like it owes her money. Stewardship of what? Family memories, I say. Legacy scuffs. The squeak on stair 4 that sings when you've been out too late. Father-in-law grunts. Stair 4 sings. Tenor, I say. Very church. Lover boy stands tall, chest out, like he's about to propose to a mortgage. I'm here because I love her and I want to invest in her dream. Brenda tilts her head, razor smile. Her dream includes breaking and entering? Open house, I remind, gesturing to the sticky notes multiplying like rabbits. Under offer, contingent on respect, as is with boundaries. Even the dog bed has a tag. The dog stares at it, then at me. Unbelievable. Mrs. Garcia steps in with a tray and the calm of a judge. For context, she says, handing father-in-law a laminated pie chart. Emotional depreciation occurs when one party treats community property like a gym locker. Cookies? He takes one despite himself. Walnut? Pecans, she says. Locally sourced gossip in the glaze. Brenda scans the counters. This candle is the wrong scent. It's called closure, I say. Notes of citrus, and finally, scent is memory. Today, I choose a new one on purpose. Loverboy clears his throat. I've already shown commitment. He flashes his phone like it's a badge. I put down a deposit. Brenda turns slowly to me. You took money. Pledged it, I say. To culture. The neighborhood arts and snacks fund. We're very pro-snack. Father-in-law takes a contemplative bite. At least he's decisive, he mutters. A man provides. Accidental endorsement number 2 lands with a thud. I smile tight. It's just we're all here, let's walk the property. I herd the group to the living room like I'm running a field trip for chaotic adults. Here, we have the conversation pit, also known as the rug you shed on after saying something brave. Brenda taps the wall. This paint is still wrong. Vintage patina of commitment, I repeat, patient. Each patch tells a story. For example, that smudge above the baseboard is from the night we tried to hang a curtain rod, and she said, and I quote, "Close enough." Loverboy laughs, trying to be part of the anecdote. She's a free spirit. Mrs. Garcia lifts a finger. Spirit unlicensed for demolition. We move to the hallway. I point to the family photo. Pumpkin patch. Note my smile. That's dental work, not joy. Brenda side-eyes me like I've committed a personality crime. Father-in-law peers at the frames, then at Loverboy. You hang photos? I can learn, Loverboy says, eager. I'm really good with, vibes. Brenda exhales. Vibes do not anchor drywall. Which is why we're offering a tutorial, I say smoothly. Included in the welcome package, one lesson on anchors versus hope. I've spent months hanging us on hope. Time to learn anchors. We pass the stair that sings. It gives us a quiet hymn. Father-in-law nods at it like it saluted him. In the bedroom doorway, I pause. Primary suite. Sunlight in the morning, forgiveness in the afternoon, boundaries at night. Brenda glares. Boundaries? Doors, I say. They close. Back in the kitchen, the battlefield. I place the contract on the island like a wedding cake. Final housekeeping. We have a ceremonial acknowledgement for the prospective steward. I tap the line he missed. Initial here confirming you understand the cookie clause and the garden exclusivity, plus one more here acknowledging Mrs. Garcia as community notary of vibes. Mrs. Garcia raises a cookie like a gavel. I have eyes and witnesses. Loverboy hesitates. I already signed. Tiny addendum, I say. Think of it as the ribbon on the bouquet you brought to a house you walked into. Brenda's eyes cut to him. You brought roses to my daughter's house. He wilts. For her, I wanted it to be special. Special, Brenda repeats, like it tastes stale. Father-in-law clears his throat. If he's serious, let him sign. Then we'll talk to our daughter. I glance at my phone. The flight tracker stares back. On approach, the clock isn't ticking, it's sprinting. I keep my smile glued on. Just an initial. Loverboy picks up the pen. Brenda watches like a hawk over a mouse convention. Mrs. Garcia narrates quietly to herself. And the quill moves, and the man contemplates, will he dot the I with a heart again? He writes L in a careful loop, then glances at me. And if this protects her dream, it protects accountability, I say, and the baseball. He signs the addendum with a slightly different last name. I clock it and hand him a cookie. Congratulations. You've achieved preliminary stewardship. Brenda points at the cereal box sold sign propped by the back door. What is that nonsense? Upcycling, I say. Sustainability meets symbolism. Father-in-law shrugs. Creative. Brenda turns to me, voice dipped in honey and morphine. You're making a spectacle. I nod. Correct. Why? Because whispers made this mess, I say. We're going to use our outside voices. Mrs. Garcia hums approval. Projector available upon request. Brenda folds her arms. When she gets here, this stops. I check the tracker again. The little plane icon edges toward the runway. When she gets here, it starts, I say softly. Boundary setting is only impressive if you keep it when the door opens. The dog sneezes like a drum roll. Loverboy squares his shoulders, trying bravery on like a jacket that doesn't fit. Father-in-law finishes his cookie, conflicted but chewing. Brenda's jaw could slice cheese. Mrs. Garcia lifts her laminated chart and declares, "We are now accepting final questions before landing." The room quiets in that way. A crowd quiets before a thunderclap. I glance at the door, at the banner, at the contract with its ink still drying. My heart isn't racing, it's counting. Charade intact. Believability holding. Punches unlikely. The signature obtained. Across my screen, the words change. Landed. The clock stops screaming and starts smiling. Try fail 2, paperwork panic. The second I see landed, my printer smells fear and starts a labor strike. I hit print. It coughs a blank page, then one with a diagonal bruise of ink, like the contract tried to escape. Stay with me, I tell it. The machine whirs like it's considering a different career. I need a clean signature on my ridiculous contract before Wheels Down turns into doorbell ding. Tension spikes. Brenda hovers, arms crossed, the unofficial TSA. Lover boy checks his hair in the microwave reflection.
Father-in-law eats another cookie in the universal language of conflict avoidance. Mrs. Garcia fans the ink with a church program she produced from nowhere. The printer jams with the drama of a fainting Victorian. I open its mouth and pull out paper entrails, hands tattooed with toner like I just robbed a mime. Technical difficulties, I announce. Love is analog. Also, accountability hates PDFs. It prefers handwriting and witnesses. Brenda points at my fingers. You're making a mess. Art, I say. Mixed media. I reload the tray. It spits out a page where my Judge Wig dog seal looks like he's melting. The title reads Agreement to Purchase Due, then smears into gothic poetry. I press it flat, take a breath, and channel every wedding officiant who's ever improvised through a power outage. Small hiccup, I say, pen poised. We'll do wet signatures. Very ceremonial. I place the smeary contract on a cutting board like a sacred text and underline the addendum that matters. Non-refundable love deposit becomes lawn flamingo fund in case of buyer remorse. Loverboy hesitates. Flamingos? Neighborhood morale initiative, I say. We rise at dawn and salute them. His eyes dart to Brenda. She shoots him a glare made of stainless steel. Mrs. Garcia whispers, pink is a power move. Father-in-law shrugs, which in his dialect means could be worse. My phone pings. A voice note from cousin Priya. Stop right now, you absolute raccoon. This is not a binding anything. Do not take money. This is evidence of chaos. Breathe. Step away from the bit. I hit play on mute. It becomes a tiny mon lecture. I nod solemnly at the silent scolding like it's affirming my life choices. Brenda narrows her eyes at the phone. What did she say? Legal terms, I say, pocketing the conscience. Mostly vowels. I slide the pen to Loverboy. Initial here acknowledging the flamingo fund. It's symbolic accountability like jury duty for your ego. He almost signs, then pulls back. I mean, that's a lot. Flamingos, forever, only until sincerity matures, I say. Usually 90 days, or one public apology, whichever comes first. He chews the inside of his cheek. What about the deposit? Can I get it back if things change? Brenda looks at me, ready to pounce. I beat her to it. The love deposit supports community arts and snacks. It can transform into lawn flamingos, lemonade stands, or Mrs. G's line of gossip-forward confections. It never returns to the scene of the heartbreak. He winces. Sweat gathers like it RSVP'd early. Regret is knocking, but the door is sticky. Father-in-law, surprising even himself, says, man up. If you're in, be in. Mrs. Garcia murmurs, and if you're out, be honest, then holds up a cookie like a truth serum. The printer emits a death rattle and ejects one perfect page, as if embarrassed by its performance. Angels sing. The dog sneezes in agreement. I swap it in like a magician palming a card and align the corners with ritual precision. Here we are, I say softly. Clean copy. One signature completes your stewardship arc. The front doorknob wiggles. Everyone freezes. Not yet. Rideshare tires crunch. Time narrows to a straw. Brenda hisses. She's here like I wouldn't recognize the sound of my own stomach climbing into my throat. Loverboy grips the pen. I just don't want to make it weird. Buddy, I say gently, we sailed past weird and not an interpretive dance.
sign or don't, but pick a lane. He looks at the clause again. Non-refundable love deposit becomes lawn flamingo fund. He laughs, a short, brutal bark. That's insane. People call boundaries insane when they cost more than excuses. Correct, I say. Also fair. He inhales, signs, and in the same motion drags his hand across the fresh ink. The letters blur like a witness in a documentary. His last name shifts from maybe Lion to maybe Lyle. The Y looks drunk. Legal chaos potential skyrockets. My smile doesn't move. There it is, I say. Commitment with a touch of impressionism. Brenda pounces. You spelled your own name wrong. He stares at it, pale. It stares at it, pale. I tap the page. It's extremely you, I say. In essence. My phone buzzes again. The street group chat lights up. Why is there a sold sign made of cinnamon toast crunch? Who's the guy with the roses? Did he pay admission? Mrs. Garcia's profile image replies from my kitchen with a selfie and the caption, "We are in escrow with feelings." I put my phone face down before I drown in the chorus. I gather the pages, fan them like money I can't legally spend, and slide the copy to Loverboy. For your records. He takes it like it might bite him. So, we're good? We're documented, I say. The front door clicks. A suitcase wheel rattles. A familiar key clinks uselessly against a locked deadbolt. My heart does a slow exhale. Frauda smooths her blouse like armor. Father-in-law squares up. Mrs. Garcia tucks the laminated charts under her arm like a shield. Loverboy pockets the smeared contract and wipes his palm on his jeans. The room holds its breath, ink drying, flamingos circling, the printer finally quiet as a confession. Micro-story, neighbor chorus. The street group chat erupts before the key even fails. Ping, ping, ping. Why is there a sold sign made out of cereal boxes on 14B? That's from Kyle, who thinks HOA stands for Hold On Anger. Then Dana, is that Cinnamon Toast Crunch? That's a premium font. A blurry zoom appears of my porch, banner flapping, sold letters taped like ransom art. Caption, do we need to intervene or bring dim? Mrs. Garcia, who is physically in my kitchen and digitally omnipresent, replies with a selfie that includes my left shoulder in a cookie tray. We are in escrow with feelings. She adds a gavel emoji, then the eye emoji, then the cookie. The neighborhood understands hierarchy, law, witness, snacks. And psychologically, a chorus keeps you honest. You perform better when watched. Across the street, Owen, age 8, hustler by birth, posts a photo of the roses perched on the windowsill and writes, "Roses for sale, lightly used, make offer." His mother replies with all caps, Owen. He edits, free with purchase of 1 Hot Wheel. Capitalism thrives. Someone asks, isn't he selling it to her yoga instructor? I refuse to clarify, rumor is cheaper than cable. A string of responsive spirals? Yoga? Pilates? CrossFit? Oh, that guy does smoothies. It's a small town in a cul-de-sac. Occupations blur into vibes. Then a photo pops in from farther down the block. My front walk, my banner framed with a rideshare bumper. Caption, tires crunching. Door opening. Main event arriving. 20 typing bubbles bloom like fireworks. The chorus goes quiet, then someone adds a popcorn gif. Mrs. Garcia thumbs me a private text. Composure. Shoulder back. Voice low. She's half neighbor, half stage manager. On my porch camera, my wife's silhouette pauses. She adjusts her sunglasses with the same little flick I know better than my own handwriting. The chat pings one more time. Do we do a casserole or an evacuation? I put my phone face down because the orchestra has tuned and the conductor has lifted the baton. My door takes a breath. Across the rug, Loverboy checks his reflection in the microwave again. Brenda folds into a rigid line. Father-in-law squares his shoulders like the house called him sir. The dog sighs as if he's tired of humans ignoring nap time. The sold sign leans, cereal corners peeling, letters cheerful and dumb. It knows nothing. It is perfect. The knob turns. The deadbolt holds. The chorus inhales as one organism. Her. She walks in. Keys scrape, polite and baffled, against a lock that used to welcome her. Then the doorbell, one crisp ding like she's a guest. I look at the banner that says we missed you, which has aged like milk in the last hour, and decide not to move it. Symbols get to stay. I open the door. She's there, rolling suitcase, airport hair, sunglasses off, eyes scanning for the scene sheet. Left and not finding it. First, she sees me, then she angles left and sees lover boy in my kitchen holding a cookie and a pin like clues from a scavenger hunt. Then she clocks the cereal box sold sign grinning from the wall. Her mouth opens, closes. 3 frames of disbelief, no caption. We can talk, she says quickly, like she's swatting a fly. Inside? We are inside, I say, voice low. I gesture with the contract, like a game show host revealing the speedboat. He already made an offer. Her eyes do a fast calculation. Deny, deflect, delay. She picks deny. Offer for what? This is insane. Agreement to purchase domestic serenity, I say. Sliding the pages an inch. Ridiculous clauses. Golden hearts. You'll love the basil section. Brenda storms in with her own opening statement. We're here to resolve this quietly. Mom, she says, startled. What are you supervising, Brenda says, because clearly somebody needs grown-ups. Father-in-law stands behind them, chewing, steady as a lamppost. Cookies are decent, he says, because he speaks in weather reports. Lover boy tries bravado on for size. I put down a deposit for us, for your dream. He lifts his phone like a torch. The Venmo memo for love and pillows glows like a tattoo he can't laser off. She turns back to me, hurt expanding like a bruise. You're selling our life? I gesture to your buyer, I say. He already bought it. She laughs, brittle. This is childish. Correct, I say. Also effective. I'm calm. I want that on record. My hands aren't shaking. My voice isn't a knife. It's a mirror. Mrs. Garcia glides through the doorway with municipal grace. Good afternoon, she says, handing my wife a cookie like a summons. Receipts available upon request. Receipts, my wife snaps. Receipts, Mrs. Garcia repeats, tapping her cardigan pocket where I suspect she actually has a small ledger. Monogrammed bag siding, Jim friend Don exits, flight number that doesn't exist. We can triangulate. My wife stiffens. We don't need the neighborhood involved. The neighborhood was involved when the roses showed up, Mrs. Garcia says. We simply moved from observant to participatory. Enough, my wife says, and she looks at me with an expression I know, the one she uses when she loses a parking spot and blames the city. Can we talk privately? I tried whispering, I say. Whispers built this problem. I flip the top page and point to the dog judge seal. We're going to use our outside voices. She scans the clauses, gets to the Flamingo fund, blanches. You can't be serious. I'm rarely more fun than when I'm serious, I say. Also, he signed. Loverboy swallows. It's symbolic, he mutters. Is it? She says, words flat as a table. She pivots, choosing deflect. You're bad at brunch. This is punishment for me asking you to try, isn't it? Brenda's soft, gasps. I reach into the drawer and slide out the printout she left, her itinerary, with the monogrammed initials matching his bag. I set it next to the smear-signed contract. Your flight didn't exist. Your perfume did. She exhales hard. Deny is wobbling. Delay emerges, hands up. We can fix this. I made mistakes. You're making a spectacle. Spectacles are clear, I say. They help you see. Private pain kept me compliant. Public truth keeps me consistent. Father-in-law shifts, surprising us all. He's been measured, he says, nodding toward me. Not yelling. It's the closest thing to a compliment I've ever heard from him. My wife glances at Loverboy. Why are you even here? He stands straighter. Because I love you, he says, chest forward, voice loud in the little kitchen like a gym announcement. We're soulmates. Mrs. Garcia claps once. Receipts, she says again, delighted. Say it with your whole chest, and we'll print it out for the minutes. My wife rounds on me. You brought my parents. You dragged the street into this. You booby-trapped the house with craft supplies. Upcycling, I correct. Sustainable drama. She shakes her head. We need to process. Alone. No, I say. We need to be honest. Together. I slide the itinerary to the center. Here's the monogram on your lover's bag that matches your trip. Here's the flight that never existed. Here's the man who asked for the garage code for later. Her face tries a new expression. God, then furious at the net. I didn't do anything, she says, choosing deny. So hard it bends. We're just friends. Loverboy, bless his chaotic heart, leans in. We're more than... Stop, she hisses. Go on, Mrs. Garcia says, pen poised. Complete sentences help the court. Brenda presses fingers to her temple. This is humiliating. Humility is different, I say gently. You can borrow some of mine. I've been carrying it for months. The dog sneezes again, as if on cue, a tiny drum fill for judgment. My wife looks at him like he might. Pick a side. He sits. He is neutral Switzerland with a treat addiction. I could slam the door here. I don't. I take a breath and let the last calm thing I have come out. I'm not here to destroy you, I say. I'm here to stop disappearing. If you want out, say out. If you want in, then it looks like truth and boring consistency. But this limbo with gym bags and shadow flights? No. Naming the pattern breaks the spell. That's the magic trick people forget. Silence holds like it's being paid. Then the chorus stirs, a distant ping from the group chat, popcorn Vef looping, Dana whisper typing, Owen trying to auction the roses again. The house itself seems to wait. The room shifts a fraction. Loverboy relaxes like he just got promoted. Brenda inhales like she swallowed a lemon. Father-in-law stares at the sink. Mrs. Garcia writes the word in her ledger and underlines it twice. Great, I say softly. Then this is logistics. I pull the contract closer, press my finger to the flamingo clause, and smile with all the grace I can muster. And now for our comedic reversal. Crisis. Petty meets principle. Here's the wobble I didn't plan for. Petty got me here, but dignity wants the mic. My chest is steady, my hands are dry, and my brain keeps whispering, don't fumble the grace. It's a weird pep talk to give yourself while a cereal box sold sign smiles over your shoulder. She points at the papers like they insulted her. You can't sell our life in a tantrum. I gesture to Loverboy, who's clutching his copy with the smeared signature like it's a newborn. He already bought it. Symbolically, he adds, shrinking a fraction. Symbolism is expensive, I say. Ask any wedding planner. Brenda steps in with the parent voice that used to terrify me. The spectacle ends now. You will not humiliate our family. I look at her gently. Has respect always been refundable, Brenda? Because I've been submitting invoices in silence for months. Father-in-law grunts, a sound that could mean careful. He's reading me like a weather vane that finally points north. Mrs. Garcia tilts her head, measuring my tone with those witness eyes. The house is holding its breath. Even Stare 4 doesn't dare sing. My wife tries a final feint. You're hurting yourself. This will make you look small. Small was pretending I didn't notice, I say. This is me at my actual height. Self-respect is a posture change you feel in your spine before anyone else sees it. Loverboy's confidence slides like jello off a warm plate. He flips the contract, lands on the flamingo clause, and goes gray. This part, the deposit goes to Long Flamingos? Forever? Until sincerity matures, I repeat. 90 days, one public apology, whichever comes first. He wipes sweat off his forehead. His voice gets thin. I didn't think it was this. Consequences, Mrs. Garcia supplies, pleased as a librarian finding a rare book. They come in many shapes, sometimes pink. My wife reaches for my arm, a move that used to end arguments. I step back an inch. Boundaries are doors. They close. Stop this, she whispers. Let me spin it. We can tell them we were separating. We weren't, I say. You were rehearsing. Brenda throws both hands up. Enough. We all say sorry. We go home. We reassess tomorrow. Great, I say, glad she used the word. Here's the cancellation clause. Consequences aren't revenge. They're closure with a syllabus. I slide a fresh page forward, cleaner than my soul. Option A, a public apology in the street group chat written by you, signed by both of you, no euphemisms. Option B, a full confession to your parents with details while Mrs. Garcia notarizes the vibe. Option C, buy every neighbor's cookie inventory and deliver them door to door with a note that says I'm messed up, here's sugar. Loverboy swallows Adam's apple tap dancing. That's punitive. It's community service, I say, sweetened. My wife's eyes flame. I will not do that. Then pay the Flamingos, Mrs. Garcia says mildly, like she's discussing library late fees. We'll place them tastefully, Brenda sputters. We are not paying for pink birds to shame our daughter. Not shame, I say. Reminder. Every time someone drives by, they'll remember honesty is cheaper. Shame freezes people. Reminders move them. Lover boy loses a little more oxygen. Maybe we slow down. Maybe we talk to a lawyer. Cousin Priya's silent voice note taps like an angel on my shoulder. Raccoon, stop. I nod to nobody. You can seek counsel. I tap the smeared signature. You can also read what you already agreed to. He presses his finger over the blurry last name like he can massage it into legibility. It still counts, right? In essence, I say, which is my favorite answer when essence is all I have. My wife changes tack, desperation replacing tactics. You want dignity? Dignity would be ending this quietly. Cancel the Flamingos. Tear up the cereal sign. Uninvite the street. Quiet kept me losing, I say. Quiet is off. Father-in-law clears his throat, finding a sentence. Respect the man's boundary. He looks surprised at his own mouth. Brenda shoots him a look sharp enough to Julian a carrot. He stares at the floor like it argued. I turn to my wife. You said out. I heard you. So here's the out that keeps my spine straight. Public apology, full confession, cookies. Pick one and we call it a wash. Offer choices, not threats. Brains calm down when doors are visible. She folds her arms so tight her knuckles go white. No, okay, I say. Then the deposit migrates to plastic birds. Loverboy breaks. Wait, I did it? This isn't how I thought. He falters like a buffering video. Can we just return the money? No refunds, I say. That's the lesson. I keep my voice low because spite is louder when it whispers. Mrs. Garcia nods, approving the pedagogy. Accountability with snacks, she murmurs. A curriculum. Brenda leans in. Whisper hiss. And this. Be the bigger person. I smile, and it's tired and true. Being bigger isn't shrinking myself to fit someone else's comfort. We all hang there, suspended between a petty opera and a clean exit. The dog size, an old man in a tiny body. The group chat dangs in the background like crickets. My wife stares past me, past the banner, past the door she can't open anymore with a key that used to work. I inhale, and the last piece of anger leaves on the exhale like lint. Petty brought the audience. Principal decides the last line. Here's the reversal, I say softly, and my voice doesn't wobble. It was never about selling the house. It was about selling my brain a future where I stopped negotiating with my own worth. The reversal hits. It was never about selling the house. It was about selling him the mirror he refused to look into. So here's the twist, and I keep my tone steady like I'm reading a bedtime story to chaos. Clause 12, I say, tapping the page. Assignment of rights. He blinks. Rights to what? Everything you already think you own, I say. Not the deed, the illusion, the playlist you imagined controlling, the thermostat battles you pictured winning. The idea that you could just slide in. I flipped the page. You didn't buy our house. You bought your ego. Non-refundable. He opens his mouth, closes it. Brenda looks like she bit a lemon wedge and lost. My wife scoffs. So this is performance art? I nod. A morality play with excellent snacks. Mrs. Garcia applauds once, quietly. Title: The Stewardship of Nonsense. Loverboy checks his phone. So the deposit already donated. I say light. Neighborhood fund. In her name, because attribution matters. I slide a small card across the island, a mock-up I printed before the printer started its soap opera. The plaque reads, "For services rendered, community drama." We're funding the block party in a little library. Pink Flamingos optional, now Symbolic. Turning chaos into community is the only ROI I care about today. Brenda sputters. I can donate my Venmo, I say. And I did. Screenshots available. Transparency is the theme. My wife's eyes narrow. So none of this is legal. Correct, I say. Sitcom logic. Emotional truth. Internal consistency. I tap the dog. Judge. Entertainment value high. Loverboy exhales like a balloon across a carpet, so I didn't buy anything. You bought a lesson, I say. And snacks. Don't forget snacks. He tries to backpedal without moving. Then I want my money back. Take it up with the neighborhood kids who will be face painting at the block party, I say. Clowns have strong counsel. Brenda rounds on me. You humiliated her for sport. I wrote the ending I needed, I say, and I wrote it in washable ink. Forgiveness can come later. Accountability goes first. My wife snatches at the keys on the hook. I take them down before she can reach. I press a single key into her palm. Cool, small. Spare to the storage unit, I say. All your bins are already there. Labeled. I'm not cruel. I'm efficient. She stares at the key like it offended her. You moved my things? The ones that weren't lies or furniture, I say. Clothes. Shoes. The suitcase I carried when you said the flight number wrong. The banner stays. It's for me now. Loverboy edges toward the door, then pauses, realizing he doesn't know which way to face. So, we're still? She doesn't answer him. She's looking at me, hunting for something to shatter. I'm boring today. I give her nothing but a level floor. Do you want to apologize? I ask softly. Publicly? Privately? At all? No, she says, just as soft. I want out. Then you have it, I say. Without flamingos. Without spectacle. You already starred. Curtain calls over. Mrs. Garcia clears her throat. For the minutes, we have chosen the dignity route. Community thanks you for your contribution to the arts. Father-in-law does a strange thing. He puts a hand on my shoulder with the weight of a man who finally recognizes the table you build. You kept your head, he says. It's both blessing and bewilderment. Brenda opens her mouth for a final swing, but the dog sneezes, and somehow that's the period. She closes it. We're leaving, she announces, corralling a child who isn't hers. Come, dear. My wife lifts her suitcase. Loverboy holds the door like chivalry will translate into a do-over. They step onto the porch. The cereal box sold sign grins behind them like a chorus kid who nailed their one line. She pauses, turns back. You'll regret this, she says. Tired prophecy. I regret the last 6 months, I answer. This is air. She flinches at that, just a fraction, then disappears down the steps. Loverboy follows, checking his phone, probably Googling how to reverse Venmo with minimal shame. Brenda and father-in-law trail, a baffled parade. The banner drifts in the HVAC breeze. The house exhales. Silence lands like confetti. Not loud, not sharp, just everywhere. Mrs. Garcia sets a cookie in front of me like communion. Eat, she says. You did theater on an empty stomach. My hands are steady. That's how I know the anger left and the boundary stayed. I laugh, and it's small and real. Did it play? It played enough, she says. Now you rest. Then you list it for real, with boring paperwork and a realtor who wears sensible shoes. I nod. I'm already imagining boxes I'll pack for myself. The middle of the bed sleep. The way the light looks at 7 when no one's lying. I peel a sticky note from the toaster, stick it on my chest. Under offer it says, sold? Not yet. But me. I'm finally not up for negotiation. Fallout, aftermath, and boundaries. The quiet after they left wasn't empty. It had weight, like a heavy blanket I finally chose. I stood in the kitchen, looked at the banner still saying we missed you, and let it change meaning. We missed you, as in the me I mislaid while counting red flags like coupons. Found him. First order of business, locks. Not out of spite. Sanity. I called the locksmith and said, hey, can you make my door agree with my boundaries? He laughed like he'd heard it before. He gave me a 3-hour window. I gave him cookies. Mrs. Garcia packaged them in a Ziploc and wrote, do not argue on the bag with a heart. While I waited, I grabbed a tote and did a sweep. The bathroom drawer with her travel minis? I emptied them into a box labeled bath, hers, and slid it by the door. The closet? I'd already offloaded the bulk to the storage unit during my petty stagecraft, so this was just debris. A lone heel. A dead straightener. A lipstick that somehow stained my palm, then my soul. I dropped it in the box and washed my hands like a surgeon done with a long, strange operation. The in-laws texted a lukewarm, hope you figure it out, followed by a prayer hands emoji and a cake for no reason. I muted the thread. Boundaries can be as small as a tap on a bell icon. Father-in-law sent a separate message, you kept your head. I stared at it a long beat, then typed, trying to keep it. He responded with a period and a thumbs up, his love language. Then I called her. No flourish, no script. She picked up on the second ring with a sigh that used to trigger my fix-it mode. Not today. We're done, I said, clean as a countertop. I'll send the separation paperwork and a list for pickup. Storage unit key is at the front desk, unit 304. Your name's on it. She started to spool something. I know the sound. I cut the thread gently. I'm not mad anymore, I said. I'm just done. She went quiet in that way that says the performance is out of lines. Okay, she said. Then nothing. I ended up like adults who finally remembered they could. The locksmith arrived with a toolbox and a dad aura. He swapped the deadbolt while I stood awkwardly with a cookie like a tip. He tested the key, turned it twice, nodded. There, he said. New start. He probably says that to everybody. It still landed. Mrs. Garcia appeared with a lasagna the size of a suitcase and a letter in a plastic sleeve. Notarized, she said. She had signed in her perfect teacher print with 2 witnesses and a doodle of a tiny flamingo wearing a crown. For your records, she added. I put it with the contract in a folder labeled story, because spite is over, but documentation is forever. Future me deserves a paper trail that proves I didn't imagine any of it. By late afternoon, the sun bent across the floorboards like it always does, honest and unbothered. I sat on the rug and ate lasagna with a fork because plates felt ceremonial. The dog laid his head on my knee like he understood treaties. I told him, we're okay. He blinked. He's easy to reassure, he trusts naps. Listing the house for real felt like the right next act. No serial signs this time, no Judge Wig dog seal. I called a realtor with sensible shoes and a laugh that didn't puncture. I want boring paperwork, I said, and a clean close. She said, my specialty, and emailed forms that had 0 flamingos and 100% actual legality. I walked room to room with a trash bag of mercy, sticky notes down, candle out, banner folded, not tossed. I kept one under offer note and moved it to the fridge door right next to the grocery list. It looked good there, honest, useful. That's the recovery plan, small honest things, repeated until they feel like home. That night, I slept in the middle of the bed, a country I hadn't visited in years. I kept a good blanket and none of the lies. The house sounded different, no anxious listening, just the regular creaks and stair 4 humming its little hymn. I texted cousin Priya a photo of the Sensible Shoes realtor's card. Caption, boring now. She replied with a confetti gif and, proud of you, raccoon. Morning brought coffee that tasted like clarity. I answered 3 neighbor texts inviting me to the block party the neighborhood fund had sprung to life overnight. Owen had drawn a flyer with a flamingo holding a cookie. The caption, thank you for your contribution to the arts. I laughed out loud, alone, and it didn't echo ugly. New chapter loading, I thought, and this time, no monograms needed. Small wins, big laughs. I woke up to a house that sounded like it finally trusted me. Coffee, sun sliding across the floor, stair 4 humming its church solo. I stuck the loan under offer note on the fridge and wrote beneath it, eggs, bread, courage. It looked domestic and absurd, which fits me. The cursed sourdough starter, bread word, glared from the counter like a pet I'd failed. Decision time. I opened the lid and it hissed like an unkind memory. You, my guy, are going to science, I said, walking him out to the compost like a tiny Viking funeral with less fire and more fruit flies. The bin took him with a soft whomp. Amen, and also finally. I cleaned. Not angry cleaning, victory cleaning. I lined the spice jars, retired the candle named Closure because it did its job, and put the Judgewig dog doodle in a drawer labeled Archive. I repurposed the surplus, under-offer sticky notes into a grocery system, milk on the toaster, aluminum foil on the cabinet, therapy on the inside of the pantry door with a smiley face. Efficient pettiness turns into habits. I like that about me. Also, scheduling therapy is the opposite of drama. That's the point. The neighborhood fund announced the block party with a flyer Owen drew, a flamingo wearing a crown, cookie in beak, my name spelled wrong and underlined twice. Community drama benefactor, it said. I decided not to correct the spelling. I put the flyer on the fridge next to courage. My phone buzzed with Dana. You bringing anything? Me, lasagna, leftovers by Garcia. Her, bring forks. And that laugh you did yesterday. Fair. Block party day arrived fast. Folding tables appeared like mushrooms. Grills flared. Someone set up a kiddie pool for knees. Mrs. Garcia wore a sash that said Vibe Notary and handed me a paper plate like a diploma. Your deposit funded the bounce house and the karaoke, she said. We expect ballots. I nodded gravely. I'll contribute silence, which is rare and valuable. Loverboy didn't show. My wife didn't either. That was its own mercy. The in-laws did a slow drive-by, saw the flamingo centerpieces, and decided this cul-de-sac was closed for spiritual maintenance. Father-in-law texted a thumbs up and a photo of his grill. It counted. I stood by the lemonade with the dog, who worked the crowd like a politician with a beef stick. Neighbors came by in waves, offering jokes gentler than they had to be. I bid $5 for the roses, Dana said. Owen already sold them twice, I answered. Kyle raised a solo cup. To escrow with feelings, he toasted. I clinked. It didn't hurt. Someone put on a playlist that didn't belong to anyone in particular. I'll let that be the point. The kids painted faces, then the flamingos, then Owen's elbow. I judged a cookie bake-off with Mrs. Garcia and a retired math teacher named Walt, who counted bites aloud. We awarded Best Aftertaste to the Pecan Gossip Bars and gave Breadward a posthumous Lifetime Achievement Award, which we wrote on a napkin and pinned to the compost lid. Closure's cousin. When it got dark, the string lights flicked on like a soft yes. I walked home carrying a foil-covered plate and a plastic gold medal that said drama. I put the medal on the doorknob because it made me smile, then took it off because it was sticky. The house greeted me like a place I earned. I put the plate in the fridge next to courage. I checked the locks without flinching. Middle of the bed again, blanket burrito, dog at my feet like a punctuation mark. Before sleep found me, I texted the realtor list goes live Monday. She replied, perfect. Then I put my phone face down and let the quiet say goodnight for once. Small wins stacked up like dishes after a feast. I didn't drop them. The door clicked and the house felt like mine again. Quiet, honest, finally on my side. If you want the full script and the real receipts, hit subscribe and drop your best nosy neighbor moment in the comments. Then watch the next story where my buddy's ex sells his dog's Instagram and gets shadow banned by the dog. New episodes every week. Don't miss it.